Dan, you may be right that there's nothing here, but it looks really bad. And my impetus for voting for Trump in 20 and 24 was because people like you told me you're a conspiracy theorist. Stop looking at this. I'm looking at the declassified Annex A. Best assessment was that the Bernardo emails were likely authentic. So for you to tell me it's fake,
Whose assessment is that?
this is Brennan, and I'm sorry, this is Durham. Certain analysts and officers whom the office interviewed and who were well versed in the sensitive intelligence collection stated that their best assessment was that the Bernardo emails were likely authentic. I don't know if that's 100% true, but don't tell me that I'm a conspiracy theorist. It is bad what happened. So,
Dan,
if you want to take it back to the people you communicate with to bolster Democrat chances in the future, you have one person who is pissed off that I'm constantly being told, don't believe what you're reading. Don't believe what you're being told.
Dan, before you answer Matthew, remember he speaks for tens of millions.
Oh, look, I know he does. And I know.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry. Matthew, are you a kook?
I hope I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. Just pointing out you're not a kook. Dan.
Look, I love politics. I love the game. I have tremendous respect for Donald Trump. I have tremendous respect the way he operates, and he's been incredibly successful. We have 3 minutes left here. There are so many things. Like, I could spend the whole show. I'm sure it'd be great content if Sean and I just went back and forth on this, because I got a lot of thoughts about this. There's so much that I agree with in terms of Letitia James going after him the way she did, stuff that was totally because he wanted to run for president, right? There's so much stuff on this issue that is being dripped out, that is being selectively put out, that in my opinion, it is ludicrous what they're trying to attempt to do. But I get why they're trying to do it. You and I could disagree about that, Matt, and Sean could too, right? It doesn't change the fact that the Russians interfered, doesn't change the fact they wanted to hurt her, and doesn't change the fact that
Trump, how did they interfere?
The Russians. If
they hacked the DNC emails.
Right. So Matt, you know what? I'll even
Mark,
give you
did another. Do you know that for sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Yeah, we are.
Dan, you're pretty sure?
Yes, I am. And by the way, Trump's own assessments in the first term said that. So did Marco Rubio. Okay. So even if you wanted to go through all of this and say everything that I believe that you're talking about is true, okay? Hillary Clinton in the summer of 16 said, I want to distract from the emails that the Russians hacked and released. I'm going to blame Trump. If every campaign that attempts to deflect is criminal.
No. You're deflecting now.
No. Again, I don't believe that stuff is
true.
All
right, hold on one second.
That's where you're going.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. There's two choices, and this is even independent of whether Sean wants to get back in. We can either stop now and end on time, or I can warn the affiliates we're going to run a little bit over. So I leave it to the three of you. Do you want to just stop, or do you want to go over?
I mean, this would be a long conversation if we keep going.
Matthew, come back on Monday, Matthew. All right. Let's go 5. Warn our affiliates. We're going to run a little over. Matthew, you have to accept the fact that in the realm we're in, we're reliant on the intelligence community, because none of us know whether those emails were hacked and given to Assange. We just don't know. We have no independent, it's not a journalist or political operative in the world who knows. So we're reliant on the intelligence community. And we know that the intelligence community has been used by both parties over the years for their own political purposes, either under the orders of a political actor or because they had an agenda. We know that. So this makes it very difficult to make judgments about any of this. I don't believe, based on the totality of what I know, that the documents that have you and Sean so fired up, I don't believe they're real. But I don't know. But neither do you.
So can let me just weigh in. So there's two issues in my mind. One is the juxtaposition and the default of 51 intelligence agencies, intelligence officials lied about Hunter Biden's laptop. Okay, that's a fact. That was not true, and they lied. And everyone in the media censored and canceled people who tried to get that word out. Then when we actually have intelligence, right? Now, again, to your point, what we choose to look at, okay, but we actually have source documents. and then we have a debate over whether or not it's true or not, and that conversation cannot happen is ridiculous. So we have one situation.
It's ridiculous.
Who said the conversation can't happen?
No. That's what's going on right now, meaning not us. But you can't, the Washington Post, NBC, they did plenty of stories this morning on Sydney Sweeney, but they can't talk about actual declassification that proves that something, or that there's at least a debate
the New York
about
Times
what occurred.
The New York Times did a
story.
But Dan, their point was this is all bullshit.
Right.
That's what their story was.
So they have no problem running with a lie when it favors the Democratic Party, when there's actually source documents that question whether the Obama administration, in collusion with the Soros Foundation and Hillary Clinton, was actually doing something to undermine the will of the American people. It's not a story.
Hold on a second. In the summer of July of 16,
I agree with Sean.
In the summer of July of 16, the American people hadn't voted yet. Okay, Sean, you've been on many campaigns. You were on the Trump campaign. Did you guys ever seek to change the subject and deflect with information that might not?
But Dan, doing it by relying on your own administration's intelligence community is different than having a press conference and saying, I'm going to marry Sydney Sweeney. I mean, it's just not the same.
Because so just the idea. Of course,
again, John Durham said that stuff's fake. But
wait. Deflecting a story.
Even if I go with you, even if I'm going to play the fairy tale, that all of that stuff is true. So what you're saying is, when she said, let's change the subject from the hacked emails, did you guys try to change the subject when Access Hollywood came out?
Yes.
Yeah, but not using.
Hey, let's call the FBI and perpetrate a story.
They had the women who were Bill Clinton's accusers come to the event.
And they asked for more emails to be released.
But Dan, that's different than using the intelligence community to say false things.
Again, I don't think that was
something
true.
Joe Biden did in 2020.
Okay, so let me just ask Dan, seriously. When Peter Strzok said that we have an insurance policy, do you think he was lying?
I don't even remember that case. I think I'm not being flip about it.
That's the text that he sent to his colleague where she was expressing concern. He said,
"We don't know.
That's not good.
We don't know but we don't know what he meant."
Okay, fine. I don't know, but it should raise the specter of suddenly it goes from we have an insurance policy and suddenly we're investigating a false dossier. I don't know. It doesn't take to me a degree in forensic science to.
I mean, it's just the conversation.
That's what's going on.
The conversation hops from Hunter Biden's laptop 4 years later back to it is.
Dan, the reason it hops to that is because the Clintons and Biden's foreign policy advisors have a demonstrated record of having no compunction at all of using the intelligence community and national security credibility. Same with Adam Schiff. To try to destroy Donald Trump. And the people who've elected Donald Trump 2 out of 3 times are a little annoyed and a little frustrated that the press ignores their demonstrated record and gives them not just some of the benefit of the doubt, the total benefit of the doubt.
Look, I totally get it. I get why Democrats feel that the Trump people have done the same thing through conservative media, right? Yeah. Look, I get it.
But it's different to use the media than it is to use the intelligence media. Matthew.
Wait, well, hold on. Mark, are you saying the Trump administration never uses their intelligence to go after their domestic enemy?
No, I'm not saying that.
All right.
I'm not saying that.
We have difference of opinion. Okay.
No, I'm agreeing with you. They do it too. Matthew.
Of course. I mean,
do you think that Sean and I are up in arms because Hillary Clinton tried to change a political narrative? Do you really think that's what this is about? Are you accusing me of saying, God darn it, Hillary, you tried to change the subject? Is that
no?
What
I think you want. I think Trump's goal. I'm not going to say what you want. I think Trump's goal with all of this is it drives him nuts that 16 is not 100% credited that Donald Trump defeated everybody, right? He wants
No, Dan, respectfully, I think what drives him nuts is that the press colluded with the Democrats to try to destroy his first term. I think that's what he's upset
about. So what I believe is it was legitimate to look into whether there had been collusion. It turns out that what Mueller said is not. But I go back to the Russians interfered. The Russians interfered to harm her.
Because Paul Manafort shared some polling data? I mean, what was the predicate? What was the predicate? Yeah, but there's no indication that was at the behest of Donald Trump because he said something flip at a press conference.
We all know that now because there was an investigation.
Dan, go back and look at the predicate. We didn't need an investigation to destroy someone's presidency to know it was all bullshit.
Mark, hold on a second. Did the Russians interfere?
Yeah.
Did the Russians interfere? We pretty certain to harm Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
Did the Russians communicate with the Trump people at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I took those three fact patterns, you would not say this is worth looking into.
Compared to the
No. Is that worth looking into?
Not a special counsel that ruins his presidency. No.
Well, hold on a second. His own attorney general appointed a special counsel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip, and you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.